Let's go Broncos! What happened on that field wasn't just a victory, it was a message, loud and clear. We're talking about a game so dominant, so one-sided, that it forced Dak Prescott to the bench with nearly a quarter remaining. The Broncos didn't just beat the Cowboys, they dismantled the so-called America's team in front of a national audience. But the real story? It's what's happening behind the scenes with Sean Payton's master plan, Bo Nix's sudden transformation, and a young defensive movement that's turning heads across the league. And I've got all the details you won't hear anywhere else. But before I reveal everything I discovered, including why the Broncos might be the most dangerous team in the NFL right now, please click like only if you're a true Denver fan and believe we're on a mission to the Super Bowl. And if you've been a Broncos fan for over 20 years, leave a comment saying, "Go, Broncos! My heart bleeds orange and blue." Okay, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you will completely change the way you view this team. The buzz around this team is electrifying. Even fans who don't normally wear the orange and blue are texting about how amazing those throwback jerseys look. Undefeated in throwback jerseys, and yes, they'll be wearing them again soon in a primetime matchup against the struggling Raiders. But beyond the aesthetics, let's be real. This wasn't just a fluke victory, it was domination. The Broncos defense held the Cowboys offense, packed with elite weapons like C.D. Lamb and George Pickens, to a single touchdown, while Pat Surtain was sidelined for much of the game and Dre Greenlaw was out due to a questionable suspension. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, Bo Nix. Stop with the sophomore slump nonsense. Over the past 5 quarters, Nix has thrown for 8 touchdowns. In this game alone, he had 4 TD passes and should have had 5 if not for a dubious pick play call that even Tony Romo questioned. He connected on 6 of the Broncos' last 8 drives with touchdowns and posted a 117 passer rating. Nix is slinging it like one of the league's top-tier quarterbacks, and he's not doing it by throwing 50 times a game. Payton has struck a balance, running the ball when it counts and unleashing Nix when the defense least expects it. And if you're still doubting this team, consider this: the Broncos are sitting at 6-2, top of the AFC, with a clear vision ahead. If not for a controversial leveraging call on a game-winning field goal against the Colts and a heartbreaking last-second loss to the Chargers, this team could very well be undefeated. But as Will Peterson said, maybe we shouldn't plan the Super Bowl parade just yet, but we might want to start mapping out the route. What's truly special about this Broncos team is how the young core is stepping up. DeAndre Tillman, a UFFL steal, made a jaw-dropping interception dropping back in coverage on a disguised blitz, catching Dak completely off guard. And he wasn't alone. Jade Barron, who's been slowly integrated into the defense, locked down Jake Ferguson, statistically the league's top tight end. These young guys aren't just filling gaps, they're leading the charge. Now flip back to the offense. Every touchdown was thrown by a first or second year player. This isn't a veteran-heavy team riding out a fluke season. This is a young, evolving roster growing with Bo Nix. R.J. Harvey, 3 touchdowns, including 1 out of the Wildcat formation. Pat Bryant, delivering in the clutch and even hitting fans with a mile-high salute after proving why Sean Payton said he reminded him of Michael Thomas. Remember when people said he was overdraft? Not anymore. And Sean Payton? He's not just calling plays, he's identifying the who. Not just what plays to run, but who to trust when the game's on the line. The offensive explosion wasn't just the result of trickery or luck. It was the result of Payton figuring out who his guys are and unleashing them. Even J.K. Dobbins broke the 100-yard mark on the ground, helping establish the kind of offensive balance that keeps defenses guessing. This team's identity is becoming crystal clear: physical, smart, explosive, and resilient. And speaking of identity, Bo Nix's growth is undeniable. That early miscommunication with Pat Bryant, he shrugged it off and went on a tear. His patience in the pocket, his footwork, his command of the offense, it's all clicking now. He's no longer that jittery rookie trying to escape pressure at the first sign of trouble. He's setting his feet, reading defenses, and delivering absolute lasers. Because what's coming next isn't just about riding momentum, it's about sustaining dominance. The Denver Broncos aren't catching teams off guard anymore. They're announcing themselves as a legitimate force in the AFC, and the scary part? They haven't even peaked yet. Let's start with the defensive mentality. Even without Pat Surtain at full strength and Dre Greenlaw out, the Broncos defense suffocated one of the NFL's most dangerous passing attacks. The schemes Vance Joseph is dialing up are crafty, deceptive, and ruthless. That interception where DeAndre Tillman dropped into coverage? That wasn't luck. That was a chess move, showing blitz, pulling back a defensive lineman, and baiting Dak Prescott into a throw he never should have made. And once Tillman had that ball, he was gone. That's not just good coaching. That's preparation, execution, and raw talent working together. And it's spreading. Young defenders like Jade Barron are locking down premier targets. Remember, Ferguson has been one of the most productive tight ends in the league this season, and Barron smothered him. These aren't rookies just getting reps, they're shutting down game plans. Now, flip it to the offense. Bo Nix, R.J. Harvey, Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, it's like a youth movement exploding into prime time. R.J. Harvey is proving to be a multidimensional threat, running between the tackles, catching passes, even executing in the Wildcat. He's not just productive, he's unpredictable. And unpredictability is deadly in Sean Payton's offense. Then there's Pat Bryant. That mile-high salute? That wasn't for show, that was a message. He gets it. He's embracing the culture, the legacy, the responsibility of wearing that Broncos uniform. And that connection with Nix? It's growing fast. Those timing routes, those back shoulder throws, the chemistry, it's everything you want to see from a young QBWR duo. Let's not forget Troy Franklin either. Despite a drop on the sideline, he made critical catches and continues to stretch the field in ways that keep defenses honest. And as for Courtland Sutton, yes, he had a drop, but he also had key moments, and if not for a suspect PI call, he adds another touchdown to his tally. The point is, this receiving core is versatile and productive. Sean Payton isn't trying to get fancy, he's getting efficient. When he said the offense was stalling because of the who, not the what, that was a pivotal moment. That realization has transformed this team. He's identified his playmakers. He's trusting them, and they're delivering. And Bo Nix? His evolution is no longer a hopeful narrative. It's reality. He's correcting mistakes mid-game, showing poise in the pocket, and standing tall when blitzes come flying at him. That pump fake, that calm presence, the way he keeps his feet planted and delivers strikes, it's the stuff veteran QBs get praised for. But he's doing it in just his second year. And here's where it gets real. The Broncos didn't just win against the Cowboys. They broke them. This was their marquee game. National broadcast. All eyes on Dallas, and they got bullied. Tony Romo called it a playoff atmosphere, and Denver rose to the occasion like it was February, not October. They didn't just play hard, they played smart, they played fast, and they played together. You can feel the momentum shifting. Around the league, teams are taking notice. Commentators, analysts, even opposing fans are realizing what's happening in Denver. The Broncos are not a fluke, they're a rising storm. The kind of team no one wants to face in December, and especially not in January. And when you look at the remaining schedule, when you see how this team stacks up against future opponents, it's not about surviving anymore. It's about imposing their will, about setting the tone early and finishing strong. There's no trap game mentality here. The emotional win over the Cowboys, followed by laser focus. No letdown, no excuses, just results. Sean Payton's influence is now deeply embedded. Vance Joseph's defense is getting nastier by the week, and Bo Nix is proving that not only does he belong, he might just lead this team to something historic. So here's the deal, this isn't hype. This is happening. The Denver Broncos are back, and they're not here to be underdogs. They're here to take what they believe is theirs. If you've made it this far, Broncos country, it means you're one of us, you believe in this team. And if you do, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and get in the comments. What game are you circling on the calendar now? Who's the one player you think is about to explode even more? Drop it below. And don't go anywhere. Click on the video right here on the screen for more exclusive Broncos breakdowns. Clear your schedule for January, because we're going deep. Broncos country, let's ride.